Hi everyone, so March 2025. Fixing the transitions that I destroyed are on my personal to-do list and hopefully will return next month. With that said, let's thumb in the barest minimum of enthusiasm and look at what we have. First up is Pacific Drive. At first I thought it was a racing game through the apocalypse, but it turns out to be a sort of adventure with some crafting, but most of it is driving about avoiding weird singularity looking things. It's interesting and enjoyable, and I'll probably keep playing it, but I might try it on Steam Deck just to kind of make sure I have time to get around to it.
Research trailer or a spark tower, but that's those antenna things.
Next is the threequel to spaceship strategy game Homeworld 3. The tutorial was kind of janky. The instructions for things like look at this thing, look at that thing also require you to move closer to trigger their hitboxes, so they don't really tell you how to move around until later, and indicators pointed at the wrong thing, so mostly I found it annoying. Other things were kind of slow going. The controls and overall jankiness just irritated me enough that I didn't make it out of the tutorial, so I just don't have the patience for it. It seems to have a mixed reception from fans of the actual game, but for me, I just hated it.
Will be shown on the sensors jar.
Third is Wild Hearts, on Origin as it used to be called. It's a 40-hour RPG, but I found the combat and moving about just janky enough to not be able to last more than 10 minutes without uninstalling it. It looks nice enough, but I just found it pretty boring.
Now the hounds are here.
Tales of Kenzera Zao, another Origin installed platformer. One thing I really hate is unskippable cutscenes.
Help me, Baba. I need you, Baba. Kalunga, God of Death, hear my plea. Kalunga, God of Death, come to me.
Kalunga, god of unskippable cutscenes, come to me. Really annoying. Game itself is okay for a 2.5D game where the characters seem to look more towards the player than at each other while they're interacting. It's meant to be 7.5 hours, but it looks like a good chunk of that is unskippable cutscenes. I didn't enjoy playing it enough to persevere. This might be a theme this month. Next is Gravity Circuit, another fun platformer where you have different weapons and a grapple to swing from. It's definitely a love letter to the older style of Japanese side-scrollers, albeit one made in a weird 400 by 240 aspect ratio. My best guess on that is that this is the resolution of one of the Nintendo 3DS's screens, so maybe they were going for a kind of retro handheld vibe. I say retro, to me the 3DS is still modern, but that thing's got to be going on for nearly 15-20 years old, so I am old. It's alright, I'm going to put it on the Steam Deck and see if it's more fun to play there than on desktop. So Whoopass next. This is a hack and slash adventure that sort of makes me think of Elden Ring, but if From Software just like to cuddle instead of fucking the player into the ground. I have a few gripes, such as the way it never sticks to a button scheme when talking or interacting, or how you use a stick as a mouse to select buttons, when left and right should just switch between them, or, you know, it would be nice if they just used B to exit the vending machines that I accidentally click on. But for the most part, it's fun, funny enough, a bit like that mate from college that nobody speaks to now, and reminds me a little bit in vibe of Overlord. It's like if the Overlord guys made a moderately light Souls. I like it. We're nearly there. Seventh is Racine. It's a retro-ish platformer, but for some reason it has cards, because why the fuck not? Cards aren't even the worst part of this game. It's mostly okay. There's a bit of a timing mechanic where you have to wait for energy to refill to play cards, and enemies flash red when they're about to attack, so you can deal a card to parry a little bit. It's alright, but I'm still not going to play it. And lastly we have Cavern of Dreams. This feels like a love letter to the Nintendo 64 era rare games like Conker's Bad Fur Day. After a few minutes I turned the blur filter off, which made it better on the eyes, but kind of killed most of the charm. The camera is wrong way round in my opinion, which makes it hard to judge platforming, but that's probably configurable. It's cute and fun if you want a bit of nostalgia. So that's it, none of the games really grabbed me this month. I'm still playing the end of My Little Universe from last month and Fort Solis from the month before, but after those I might get time for a little bit more Pacific Drive or maybe some Whoopass on the Steam Deck. What do you guys think? Any of it for you, or did it just feel like a collection of also ran projects? Thanks if you made it this far, stay safe, and hope to see you next time. Fuck unskippable cutscenes.